Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If your car has been feeling sluggish, losing fuel economy, or idling like a washing machine full of rocks, this video is for you. Today, we have this engine in the garage, and honestly, it's running tired. It's hesitant when you step on the gas, and the idle just isn't crisp. Instead of taking it to a shop and spending hundreds of dollars on a diagnostic fee, we are doing a complete, top-to-bottom engine refresh ourselves. We're going to tear down the intake system, pull the fuel system, check the ignition, and clean out a bunch of hidden filters most people don't even know exist. Alright, we're starting with the basics, the ignition system. If your engine isn't getting a clean, strong spark, nothing else we do today is going to matter. Oh boy. Look at this. See this electrode right here? It is completely eaten away by the extreme heat inside the combustion chamber. Over thousands of miles, that metal slowly degrades. When that gap widens and gets caked in carbon, the ignition coil has to exert way more effort just to arc a spark across the gap. That leads to weak combustion, sluggish acceleration, and unburnt fuel exiting your exhaust. We're not even going to bother cleaning these, they are past their prime. We've got a brand new set right here. Notice how sharp and clean the ground electrode is on the new one. That's what we want. We'll set these aside and install them later once the rest of the engine is clean. Now we're moving on to something a lot of DIYers completely miss. Deep inside the oil passages feeding the top of the engine, there's a tiny, secondary oil filter screen. Its job is to catch microscopic debris before it reaches the variable valve timing system. Let's back this bolt out and see what it looks like. Wow! Look at that mesh. It is completely choked and clogged with dirt and old oil sludge. When this is blocked, your engine's starved for oil pressure up top. Luckily, we don't need to buy a new one. Watch this. Perfect! A little bit of throttle cleaner and it's completely clear. While that dries, let's jump over to the air intake and grab the mass airflow, or MAF, sensor. The MAF sensor tells your car's computer exactly how much air is entering the engine so it can calculate how much fuel to inject. If these tiny wires get coated in dust, the reading is wrong, and your car runs way too rich or way too lean. You have to be incredibly gentle here and never touch these wires with your fingers. We're just going to give it a few sprays of cleaner, let it air dry, and look at that, spotless. With the intake pipe out of the way, we can see the throttle body. Look at all that black gunk built up around the edges of the butterfly valve. Every time you step on the gas pedal, this valve opens to let air in. When carbon builds up here, it acts like glue. It restricts air at idle and makes the pedal feel sticky or hesitant. To clean this safely, we aren't going to gouge it with metal tools. We're using an old toothbrush and our trusty throttle cleaner. You really want to make sure you get behind the valve blade where the grime hides. There we go. Look at that difference. That is a night and day transformation. Air is going to glide through there with zero restriction now. Alright, this next part is incredibly satisfying. We took the time to pull the fuel injectors out of the fuel rail because I suspect they're dripping instead of spraying. I'm hooking them up to our injector tester right now so we can simulate the engine running at different RPMs and check the pressure. Now, we're going to cycle our throttle cleaner directly through the injector tester under high pressure to blast out the internal deposits. Look at that! That is a perfect, atomized cone mist. That is exactly how fuel is supposed to look before it enters the combustion chamber. That is going to give us an incredibly clean burn and crisp throttle response. Next up is the VVTI solenoid, Variable Valve Timing Intelligent. This valve controls the oil flow to advance or retard your camshaft timing. If it gets clogged, it gets stuck. I'm going to tap it with 12 volts of power right now to see if it moves. Hear that? Nothing. it's almost completely silent because the internal piston is frozen solid with varnished oil. It's completely stuck in place, which means the car has been losing top-end power. Let's drown it in cleaner and manually work the valve. There it goes. Listen to that sharp, mechanical snap. The varnish cleared out and the valve is free to move at lightning speed again. While we're on a roll, we also removed and cleaned the PCV valve, the positive crankcase ventilation, to make sure the engine crankcase can breathe. And finally, look at this air filter. This is the old air filter element, completely filled with sand, leaves, and dirt. And here is the brand new one going in. It's like giving the engine a brand new set of lungs. Everything is cleaned, lubricated, torqued down to spec, and plugged back in. We went through the entire top end of this motor. Now comes the moment of truth. Let's turn the key, let the fuel pump prime, and see how she idles. Wow! Do you hear that? Or rather, do you not hear that? The harsh, erratic shaking is completely gone. The idle is dead steady on the tachometer, and when I tap the gas, the throttle response is instantaneous. No hesitation, no bobbing down. It goes to show that you don't always need to buy expensive new sensors or take your car to a dealership. A few cans of cleaner, a basic toolset, a new set of plugs, and a little bit of patience can completely bring a tired engine back to life. If you found this breakdown helpful and want to save money on your own car projects, do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, and leave a comment below telling me what car you're working on in your garage right now. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you in the very next video. Peace!